Ramble.
Before we start today's episode, we gotta tell you about Mint Mobile. Look, if you're still using one of the big wireless providers this year, have you asked yourself, what are you paying for? I mean, between expensive retail stores, inflated prices, and hidden fees, you're being taken advantage of because they know you'll pay. Enter Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile provides the same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile saves on retail locations and overhead, then passes those savings directly to you.
Mint Mobile makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. With Mint Mobile, stop paying for unlimited data you'll never use. Choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes of 4G LTE data. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts, and ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile.
To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/tryguys. That's mintmobile.com/tryguys. Cut your wireless bill down to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/tryguys. Thanks to Raycon Purple Mattresses, Mint Mobile, and Liquid IV for sponsoring today's episode.
Welcome to the TryPod. Welcome to another episode. You got your boy Zach. Joining me as always is
Ned Fulmer.
And
안녕하세요. Wait, Eugene, I thought you were going to say my name.
I just before the podcast started said I'm going to let you say your name. I said it and you looked at me and you nodded. You said okay.
It's kind of ruined the flow. I like the...
Do you want to start over? Should we start over?
We say like...
Start over.
Okay, all right.
I heard the instructions, Zach, but it did break up the flow. You know, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
tough.
So we're going to do no... you want me to say your name? You want to go back to that?
Yeah.
I'm trying a new thing.
Ned sounded like he was an elementary school student.
Ned Fulmer present.
Ned Fulmer.
Yeah, Ned
Okay, we'll try that then.
All right, here we go, Zach. And
Hello.
in 3,
Okay,
2...
yeah,
all right,
in
let's
3,
get
2,
in
1.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome, class, to another episode of the TryPod. Let's see who's here today, students. Do we have Mr. Ned Fulmer?
What's up, Try fam? How we feeling tonight?
Okay, Ned is present. Eugene Lee Yang.
안녕.
Miles Bonsignore.
Hey, how's it going, you sexy little cuties?
Keith Habersberger.
He had to go to the principal's office.
Keith is not joining us today because we gave him a day off for his birthday. So instead, let's talk shit about him all day.
Ooh.
What Keith stories you got? Let's dish.
He's tall, he's hot. What else is there to freaking roast?
I've discovered about Keith lately, he's very crafty. I never knew that. This isn't really a roast, it's more of a compliment. But, I mean, the man built a skee ball machine out of...
Why don't you say it like a roast? Just say a compliment in a roast voice.
Sure. Keith is so crafty. He can't fill his time, so he has to make crafts. He has to make a skee ball machine out of cardboard. I'm sorry, Keith, but the arcade called. They want their money back.
The arcade called, and they're really impressed with what you've done. Lots to talk about today, lots to dive into. I think first and foremost, guys, K-pop stans, they're ruling the world, and they're making it a better place. I think we should talk about it. Trump had a rally this weekend, and they were expecting over 1 million people who RSVP'd, and it turned out that it was not 1 million people who wanted to go. It was actually just a bunch of teens on TikTok and K-pop stans who were flooding the RSVPs and making it seem like way more people wanted to go. So instead, I think it was a 19,000 person arena, had about 6,200 people. They had to cancel the spillover. That is such next level expert trolling, and I adore it.
Really impressive. And I mean, 19,000 people isn't even that much in the first place.
Yeah, it's really interesting because as a Korean person, I was probably one of the most OG K-pop fans because I started listening in the 90s. Like I was getting the CDs at church. We were listening to H.O.T., G.O.D. Yeah, because church is where all the Koreans were, where I was growing up. So yeah, Korean pop music is really interesting because it really started proliferating before I even knew y'all. Like I was listening to Boa and Rain. And then when we were at BuzzFeed, I started introducing everyone at BuzzFeed to K-pop because I was like, hey, here's some music.
Yeah.
Here's some music and stuff. So it's weird because there was literally, I used to get made fun of so much when I was young for listening to Korean music. So I would pretend like I didn't have those CDs. But now it's like one of the most popular musics in the world, especially for teens. What's really awesome is that because it's so tied to like the massive usage of digital, especially once, really Gangnam Style went viral, it's so tied into digital culture and youth culture that all of these really progressive, cool, awesome young people trolled the Trump rally. They trolled all of the what was it? The police Twitters. They were like doing all the stands were putting up all the fan cams.
Yeah, anytime that they try and trend All Lives Matter or like anything with QAnon, K-pop fans just flood the mentions and put fan cams instead. It is wonderful.
But it is just so weird because everyone's like pretending like they like K-pop now. That's the big thing. Every and I'm gonna say this, I'm calling everyone out on Twitter. They're just like, ooh, Stan Luna, Stan BTS, Stan Blackpink, and I'm like, y'all don't even listen to this. Y'all just are getting on the train, which is great. I think they should start listening to it, but they haven't been listening to it for 10 years.
Eugene liked it before it was cool.
I liked it before it was like non-Korean.
Right.
I'm just extremely grateful that they're using their powers for good. Because they are at this point, the BTS army is an army. They are a soft power army, which has always been South Korea's aim with their influence with pop culture. And I imagine if the K-pop army was like actually just wildly racist and they were using that power for evil.
Oh, no.
Instead, they are just these, I know, they're just these young, progressive, wonderful, seemingly wonderful people that are fighting assholes, and I love it.
Yeah, it's positive mobilization of something that like did not exist. I don't know. I kind of feel like K-pop, like when you see those stan accounts, any stan account. I mean, K-pop stans accounts is where it starts, but like I kind of feel like any stan account that just like their header, you know what they look like, the profile picture changes all the time, and their handle's different every day, and it's just like 1,000 different like symbols and stuff, and you're like, that person has influence that I will never achieve.
Did make me very proud though, because I've been doing my little light flirting with the BTS fandom, claiming that I am the Jimin of the Try Guys, which of course is a fact. Jimin and I are essentially the same human. And so to see them take down Mr. Trump's dreams, it really really tickled my heart.
It feels good. Do you guys see that picture of him with his hat in his hand?
No.
It felt good. It's like him after the rally, like being disappointed.
The walk of shame?
Yeah. It felt really good to see that, to see him upset.
And I know this is petty, but we deserve a moment of pettiness, right? We deserve one moment in this shithole of a year to be like, you know what? Fuck that guy's dreams. He had a bad day, and I'm happy because of it.
If it's daily anger and things that make you feel bad, give us this one moment.
Thank you, K-pop fans.
Well, it's not just K-pop fans now. I believe it's a lot of the TikTok teens.
Yeah, sure.
And just young Gen Zers
TikTok
or Zoomers,
teens,
as they're called.
of which I am one.
Oh yeah, they're Zoomers. Is that you said that, you read, Eugene? They're called Zoomers?
That's the colloquial term being used now for Gen Z, is Zoomers. Yeah, I think it was used before Zoom became massively popular in quarantine, but I think it's cute. It certainly feels like it's also kind of like a fuck you to the boomers.
Yeah.
It's like we're twisting it, we're making it ours.
We go fast.
Yeah.
we
zoom around.
Zoom.
There's so many older people who sometimes, if they're trying to dismiss younger generations, they use the catch-all term millennials, but the youngest millennials are about 25 years old now. If you look at Wes, like Ned's child is technically Generation Alpha, which is the generation after Gen Z.
Whoa.
Yeah, Wes is not a
whole new generation.
Millennials babies, our children are not Gen Z. Gen Z is already done.
Wow.
It's the next one because
Whoa.
Gen Z are like, anyone between like, I don't know, teens through 25.
Are you telling me that Ned's kid isn't going to have 90s nostalgia? What the fuck?
What?
What the fuck, man? That's crazy.
So confusing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's great TikTok memes of Zoomers making fun of millennials, and they'll be like, I'm cosplaying as a millennial. They'll just be like, I love Starbucks.
I love avocado toast.
It's so good.
I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry
Potter houses are so fun. We're the Try Guys. We release Harry Potter videos. What's your house? Take a quiz to find out.
God, it's good.
It's very millennial.
That's good.
But it is fun thinking that culturally we are, a lot of people who watch and listen to this podcast identify as Gen Z. And it's really awesome to see that many of them are also just sort of, I think, born into a world where they feel responsible for being part of the movement. For them, it's not a huge emotional dilemma. They're not if and or butting. They're just saying, oh, I clearly see this is wrong, and I'm going to use whatever I can in my power to fight it. And I think Gen Z collectively, especially those who identify as more progressive, have been really impressing me, especially over the past during Trump's administration. Really, they've been really stepping up, and it's been really cool.
Climate change fighting as well. I mean, that's really that was going on for maybe a year, 2 years, but that's the generation that is going to have to live with all the horrible things that we have done to the planet over the last, give or take,
Ever.
Industrial Revolution era.
My futurism theory is, millennials are known for saying we had to adapt to technology. Everything is adaptation. We go through so much change. Like that's us. We're like change.org /.com, millennials forever. And then Gen Z's like, wow, you guys are trying so hard. We just like live it. Like we are the change. They're just like, we already here with the technology.
And millennials are like, did you guys see they changed the charging cable again? We gotta get new cables.
We like have a mini mental breakdown every single time that happens. I feel like the next generation, like our children's like Wes's age, Generation
what do you
Alpha,
think that's going to be like?
Yeah.
they're going to be like, oh man, we have to get used to all these robots taking over. Oh,
Yeah.
Back on the change train, but it's artificial intelligence. Yeah.
there's the car that's no longer needs a driver.
It's very possible that like Wes's generation won't have to learn how to drive.
Oh, yeah. That's fascinating.
They may not need to learn how to use a pencil.
What? No, pencils will still be around.
Why bother?
Why bother?
Just do it in your freaking brain, dude.
I do my grocery lists in my app that's on my glasses.
You guys probably had to learn how to type. Like I had to learn how to type, I want to say, in elementary school. I know you're like a couple years older than me, so was that a challenge to?
Yeah, it was pretty tough.
Me and Ned are like mid-millennials. I think we're like smack in the middle. So
Mid-millenn.
Mid-millenn, we were middle school typing class kids.
That's just something that no one growing up now would even think about. They're born learning to type. It's just a...
No, I'm sure they have to learn at some point.
Or like really early, Ned. Yeah, it's like part of the super early curriculum to start typing.
Really?
I assume.
So you don't learn it, wait, does Mavis Beacon still exist?
I don't know.
Where's Mavis Beacon at?
I don't think so.
We played this game where you had to type words, and the faster you typed, the faster your car would go.
That's right. And if you were too slow, the little flies would hit your windshield. I played that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was scary when the flies start hitting, and any mistake you made would be like splat.
Oh, but you know what's going obsolete is cursive.
Oh, yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Get out of
I mean,
here.
I think we're
been
the last
done
people
dead.
who had to learn it.
I
But
barely
you know,
learned it.
You saw your beautiful cursive, you'd be like, wow, he has such great cursive.
Yeah.
I thought that was so
I
romantic.
think it'd be cool for kids to still like learn it, like spend a couple weeks on it.
Yes, to write to your lover who's away at war. How else can you write to
Of
them?
course.
On a computer? No.
I
Yes, Reginald.
You write stuff, but then you need like the formal signature. You need your fancy writing.
Yeah, it's sexy.
Oh, but no one even uses their real formal signature. Some of y'all use the half squiggle.
Well, my formal signature is a half squiggle. It's very.
I cannot write my full name in cursive. I cannot write my full name in cursive.
No, stop it.
Come on, Zach.
What about when you
I
sign
don't.
something really important? Don't you give them the full brass?
Full business.
You don't give them the full business.
I give them a full business that is my full business, unique to me like a fingerprint.
I see.
Well, I'd certainly rather have more foreign language classes than cursive. I think that's probably happening more, like bilingual students.
Or coding.
Or coding, yeah.
Coding.
Going back real quick to TikTok activism, what I think is really cool about it is like our generation, we had social media, right? And that created, I think, a level of complacency where people in our generation thought like, okay, well, I'm just going to post a tweet and I've done my job, right? And they don't actually enact those changes in their life. They don't go. And that was a real critique. Like our parents' generation, they actually went out into the streets and protested. We just posted something that made us feel better. But this generation that has grown up with technology, they're doing kind of the best of both worlds. And they are just posting something, but they're actually enacting real life difference from it. And that is so wonderfully cool to me. I love
the
to see
thing
it.
that they post is, hey, come join me in the streets.
Or like in the case of the Trump rally, they did a movement online that actually had real world implications.
Eugene, whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want to listen to what you're listening to. You want it to be what you're listening to, not what, Zach or Keith are listening to.
Oh, no.
Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, but before you go dropping hundreds of dollars on a pair, you need to check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon.
You already know Raycon earbuds start out about half the price of any of the premium wireless earbuds on the market, and that they just sound as amazing as other top audio brands you know.
And their newest model, the everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet. You've got over 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit.
You might even say it's noise.
I use them when I'm running, and they're great. They're lightweight, they don't bother me at all, and I've never had any problems. And you know me, I run fast.
Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet, with no dangling wires or stems to distract anyone during video calls or Ned's runs.
You've heard us talk about how the company was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Snoop Dogg are obsessed with Raycon, so pick up a pair and see what the hype is all about.
Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off of your order at buyraycon.com/tripod. That's buyraycon.com/tripod for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds.
buyraycon.com/tripod.
Well, anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, that brings us to the world being a wild place. And sometimes when the place is wild, people write us in with their conundrums and their issues. And that's why today, the Try Guys from internet fame are going to solve problems from our listeners. Can I get a fake name, Eugene, for listener? Eugene is the fake name. All right.
Well, yeah, Eugene.
All right. Eugene is writing in.
I mean, that name's dying out, so we're going to... Gen Alpha is going to have no Eugene.
Mulch Mommy was confusing enough last week, and now we have Eugene. It's writing in. All right. Eugene says...
What did Eugene say?
Okay, that's enough. What's enough horsing around, gang. Okay, what's poppin', TryPod? There's this guy who hangs out at my house a lot, and our families tease us a lot that we're dating. Why is that a thing? Maybe that's why I don't date. My mom scares me out of it. I don't really know or care about that, but I do care. What I do care about is how bad he smells. Every time he comes over, as soon as he leaves, my parents are like, he's got to shower before he comes over next time. And then we never do anything about it. See, the thing is, there was this whole fiasco at school where some idiotic rich white kid told some teachers he smelled so bad that it was unbearable, which is kind of true, but like, what? And then a teacher sat him in front of a fan, which blew his odor onto the other students. Then the administration literally scheduled a meeting with him, telling him to shower. So yeah, we really don't want to say anything after he's been traumatized. Should we just bear it until we all die, or we tell him and we hurt his feelings? Sincerely, Eugene.
That took such a turn. I was ready to talk about parents being like, oh, are you dating? Oh, are you boyfriend? I was like, man, parents, fuck off. Let kids be horny on their own.
Yeah.
But now we got to talk about smell.
Right.
Shit.
Wait, so this is... Eugene has a classmate who
a friend who hangs out at their house.
So it is a friend.
It is at their house, yeah.
Her or his
not
or
a
their
boyfriend.
friend. Yeah.
Not a boyfriend, but a male friend who is stinky. And she wants to... She's concerned over whether to let him know and hurt his feelings or to just deal with it.
I definitely, in college, had a lot of friends who did not wear deodorant almost as a badge of honor. They were like the punk rock kids who were like, yeah, man, whatever. Like, my natural BO is my natural BO. And we'd be on the public transportation. They'd be on the bus, keeping their arms up. And it was pretty fucking unbearable. Yeah. And it's hard to tell a friend like, yo, deodorant is a thing that's an option for you, and kind of like just it's a nicety to the people around you. But like maybe this dude has halitosis. Maybe he's got a case of the bad breath.
Maybe sweats a lot.
Maybe he sweats. We need now. I wish we had Keith here.
Oh man, this makes me think of in middle school alphabetical seating. There was a guy with the last name. I guess I shouldn't say his name, but it was
don't say his name, Ned. Jesus.
I'm just saying, he always got sat next to me because we both had F names.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
Fulmer.
like, I'm FU. It was very close to that. So, it was just, he was very smelly.
Yeah, sure.
And, if it was the first day of school and they're like, and we're going to be doing alphabetical seating, I would just think to myself, oh no.
It's hard because you don't want to hurt feelings, but sometimes you got a friend who's stinky and they need to hear something.
I love none of us have an answer, as evidenced by the fact that we're just dipping into our memory pool as we stall trying to think of what to do here.
Yeah, I mean, my answer in the moment was do not confront.
Somebody that I knew in college, like, I don't know what he did, but when he showered, it smelled so much worse. It was like whatever was on his skin got activated by the water, and he would take, I'm telling you, like 30, 40-minute showers, and he would open hot showers. You get that steam, it's rising. It's like
so
this,
the smell
this
like
fucking sauna.
Is now in the air.
Oh, sure.
It's in the air. It's particleized, my man. And he opened that door into the common room, and oh my God. It was like we had to evacuate for hours. It was cruel.
Fascinating. How?
But I never told him. I never once said anything because telling somebody that you smell is probably one of the meanest things that you can do to a person, right? Besides like blatant racism.
Also, sometimes it's like people's noses smell things differently, Like one person might think they smell really good.
I think it's probably best not to bring it up directly to them, because I think, especially if you're like, I don't know, some people just can't control how they smell.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you could be like, what are you going to do? Give them deodorant and then not fix the problem and then just insult them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just tough. That's just part of life. Some people smell different. Right. Whatever.
What if you go to a mall together around his birthday and then be like, oh my God, do you want to try on some cologne? Oh shit, this smells really good. You know what? My treat. I insist. Happy birthday, Eugene.
That's not a bad idea.
You don't wear deodorant, right? And you smell fine.
I wear no deodorant because it messes with it like makes my skin break out, and I just don't produce an odor. I am an odorless
Isn't there
human.
like this thing where it's like there's a slight adjustment period of a week or 2 weeks or something, and then your body like resets itself with some natural odors?
I think most people stink if they don't wear deodorant. I just don't really sweat. I mean, if I'm like the only time that I really stank is when we filmed our YouTube original show and we were under those hot lights all the time. I would come home very spicy after that. But normal day to day, I produce no odor. I'm a freak of nature.
Positive reinforcement's important with this kind of stuff. So if you're like, oh man, like if this is your friend, if you're like, man, I just got out of the shower, like I'm feeling so good being all fresh and clean and I smell nice. You hear, oh, my deodorant smells so good. Smell my deodorant. I kind of just introduce them to a world of positive smells and fresh clothing.
Okay, new idea. Get onto K-pop Twitter and be like, yo, Army, let's make smelling good the hot new trend. You get 1,000 of your buddies all tweeting about the funnest scents and hot colognes and deodorants. K-pop can fix everything. I think that's going to be my new go-to for every email that we get.
Well, it's crazy how K-pop Twitter, the force of the fans, really only happened over the past, 4 years, 3 years. It's really remarkable how they came together. I mean, because K-pop in itself has a lot of problematic aspects to it, but as a fandom, the way they've mobilized is really, really, really cool.
Well, Eugene, ever since I became Blackpink's #1 fan, things have really changed for the community.
It's a great point. I believe it was about 3 years ago that Ned tweeted all caps Blackpink.
Yeah, what can I say? I heard a Blackpink song and I was pretty hyped. I think I'm the white celebrity that you're talking about.
So have you guys seen that, like, recently, a part of the protest, people have been tearing down these Confederate statues all over the place? This has been like kind of a very exciting thing that seems pretty long overdue.
It's great to see. And then I've seen that a lot of local governments have been responded by like, okay, we'll take it down. You know, it's like there's just kind of been a turning of the tide in what has been a painful issue for a while.
2020, I will always remember for many things. But one thing that I think surprises me the most is learning that there's a faction of conservatives out there who apparently really love statues. I never thought that anybody was I knew that people were passionate about, like, hey, this statue is idolizing something that's pretty hurtful, but I never knew that there were people who were genuinely like, I fucking love this statue, man. This statue represents me and what I care about, and if I didn't have this statue, I wouldn't know history.
I think I knew that.
Yeah, I think that's part of a larger criticism what the post-Confederate South and the white nationalists have to point to as culture, because any culture has a shared history of so much more than just an emblematic piece of stone. And I think that the problems that a lot of these really far-right people come across is that they claim heritage, but when they come down to it, they are literally defending a piece of rock. Like, there's nothing else. There really is nothing else that is proclaiming, look at the proud heritage of the Confederacy, except for Robert E. Lee up there on a fucking horse in a square in a southern city. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, the only other thing they could maybe point to is shared racism. And that's not something they're trying to tout. There's something they're trying to deny. So when you really, because literally everything else that they would even claim to say is part of this, like, Confederate quote unquote identity, NASCAR, country music, lots of things that are really more about Southern identity, they don't want nothing to do with y'all fucking white supremacists. They're like, nah, we're gonna separate ourselves from you because, you know, you liked us, but we are not you. You know, culture progress is moving forward, leaving them behind, and the only thing you can't really take along with you, or something that really can't speak for itself, is a fucking piece of rock that's molded into an old soldier that was on the wrong side of history. So that's why they're obsessed with these statues. It's literally the last shred of any proof that their idea of heritage even exists. So take it the fuck down.
Of course, yeah.
Take it the fuck down. I mean, like, a lot of people are just okay with, like, yeah, you know, if the city wants to remove it and put it in some, like, weird vault museum or something, just don't put it on fucking public display. I mean, it's really great for a lot of us when we see it rolled into a river. That's all good fun. But, yeah, in the end, it's like, yeah, it's a misplaced sense of heritage that I think, in the end, is just this really cold awakening that, in fact, there really is so much less to what they claim is part of their identity.
Right. And you're making, I mean, you and I both grew up in the South, and you're making a distinction between, like, Southern cultural, like, heritage and, like, a Confederacy heritage. Like, there's nothing that good about the Confederacy that we should be hearkening back to. But there's a lot of great things in the South.
And a lot of the reason white supremacists and Confederates don't want to, like, put themselves with general Southern culture is a lot of that came from Black Americans anyways.
Yeah.
Like, they know, they get it. That's where country music really, that's where the roots are from, you know? So it's really much, I think, this whole thing where, like, that's really distinct and very, very white. What's the only thing that's really distinct, that's really untouched by any, like, influence from Black Americans? They're like, oh, slave owning. That's the one thing we had. Yeah. So it's both pitiful and disgusting. And in the end, all they got is a fucking rock shaped like a stupid ass general.
I will say, on a only slightly related note, I would love to have a statue of myself. That would be great. But I wouldn't just want any statue. I would want the statue where, like, a certain part of my body is good luck. Like, if you grab
we all
my
know
booty,
what part of the body. Yeah.
if you rub
We
my
all
booty, you get good luck. And then over time, that part becomes like shiny and gold while the rest becomes, sort of oxidized brown. That, I think, those are the most fun statues where it's like, if you touch the part that everyone else touches, you're going to have something good happen to you.
I think you're onto something there, Ned. We all, I think, are in firm agreement. Fuck the Confederate statues. Fuck the flags. Get rid of them. Either take them down or, I won't stand in the way if someone else takes them down themselves. But we got to replace these statues with something. Mm-hmm. So what do we got? The best that was going around, Ned's butt, obviously, that's locked in. We're going to get one of those in each southern town. Anywhere where Stonewall Jackson was, we're going to put Booty Boy Ned. There was someone that was posting on Twitter photos of Paddington statues, and they are the most adorable little things. And just think about how happy of a world it would be if we just had Paddington everywhere. Everyone would be happy, and we'd all be eating marmalade. It'd be wonderful.
What? He's British.
He is British, so a little bit of a sore subject there.
Well, technically, he's Peruvian.
He's Peruvian.
He's Peruvian.
We stand.
Peruvian by birth. Yeah. Oh, I'm in a big Paddington phase right now. I gotta say that would be adorable. You gotta get the one where he's like all wet and like flipping the water everywhere. The best part about Paddington. We watch Paddington probably, once a week.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow. You're living the life. That's awesome.
Hey, if you like kids movies, being a parent is for you.
Have you gone west into P2 yet?
Oh yeah. We gotta fast forward through some parts.
What do you mean?
And what do you mean? What do I mean? It's not like you can watch that movie start to finish with a 2-year-old.
Is there violence?
Does Paddington 2 have
a really graphic sex scene? You don't remember that, Zach?
I know they go to prison at one point, but it's like happy prison. I don't remember. Is it scary?
I don't remember exactly. Definitely Paddington 1 with the pet taxidermist lady is a little scary.
Oh, yeah, it's a little spooky.
And I think there are some moments in Paddington 2. Eugene, did you know that dehydration occurs daily in about 3 out of 4 people?
Oh my goodness, that's 3 out of 4 Try Guys.
That means probably 3/4 of us right now are dehydrated. The only person that's probably fully hydrated is Keith, because he's not here and he has been drinking water nonstop for the last 30 minutes. And that leads to daily headaches, dizziness, brain fog, muscle fatigue, muscle cramps, dry skin, and more. To stay hydrated with water alone, you'd have to drink 8 full 8-ounce glasses of water a day. That's a lot of water. But thankfully, there's Liquid IV, which is the fastest, most efficient way to stay hydrated.
Proper hydration can boost your immunity. 1 serving of Liquid IV provides the same hydration as drinking 2 to 3 bottles of water alone, and it contains 5 essential vitamins, more vitamin C than an orange, and as much potassium as a banana. It's healthier than sugary sports drinks, no artificial flavors or preservatives, and less sugar than an apple, and is made with clean ingredients, non-GMO, vegan, and free of gluten, dairy, and soy.
Ariel and I, we love Liquid IV. We've got a whole big old crate of packets. We crack them, dump them into water, and it feels great. It tastes delicious, and you feel like you're doing something good for your body.
Liquid IV is available nationwide at Target, Whole Foods, and Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TRYGUYS at checkout.
That's 25% off anything you order when you use promo code TRYGUYS at liquidiv.com.
Okay, we're going off of statues for a second because this is now what I'm fascinated by. Ned, you fast forward through scenes that scare Wes. At what age, if ever, are you going to allow him to be scared?
It's like we're watching part of Frozen and he'll put his hands on his ears and say, too loud, scary, and it's the rock monster, which is the snow monster. But
in his defense, not a great scene. You could fast forward through that shit.
Yeah, it's true. It's really not plot critical, even though somehow it is. Rock man, he says. I don't know. I think it would be helpful to be a little scared at some point, but you know me. I don't really like scary movies. So I don't understand where it comes from for people. What about you, Zach? You love scary movies. So when did you start to get scared and like it?
I know. Eugene, do you remember when, I remember in middle school and high school being, tantalized by the idea of The Shining, but obviously there were things. You know what it was? The first one that really freaked me the fuck out was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I feel like we've talked about this a million times. The tunnel scene with the projector on the wall and the eyeballs and the bee. But you know what I think was different is that my parents would just throw me in the living room and I would just pick out VHSs myself. And so I was the one responsible for fast forwarding. And so it was like up to me to decide, was this scary or was this okay?
Yeah, my parents definitely did that too, where they would just be like, oh, time to close your eyes. There's boobs on the screen.
I remember coming downstairs and watching my parents watch Mission Impossible. And there was this one character, I'm like, oh, he's cool. But the whole first act of Mission Impossible is then watching them all die one by one until only Tom Cruise is. And then there's this really scary film noir shot. John Voight, I think, gets shot on a bridge. And that, I ran upstairs and hid under the blankets.
Oh, God.
It was so scary to me.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's a little over 2, It's it's really even like a screen at all is something that should be used sparingly.
Oh, yeah.
So a scary screen is really not something I'm going to go for in these days. But I don't know. I think when they're older, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think the ratings are generally pretty... I would be probably watching a PG movie with a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old,
Right, yeah. You can watch the Studio Ghibli movies, like Ponyo and Spirited Away and stuff like that. It's probably okay for a kid.
The Trolls movie is a little rough for Wes right now. I mean, the whole premise is we're going to get eaten by these gross things. But if you're 8, you know that it's a cartoon, so I don't think that would be as scary.
Yeah, I think a fine line is knowing that you're watching a movie. Because as a child, when I was frightened, I thought the people were dying. Or I thought it was truly someone was going to hurt me.
Yeah.
And then I only started enjoying scary scenes after I understood what a film was and what an actor was. I think part of that helped when I started seeing Nickelodeon shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps on TV. But I think I understood at that point too that they were a cast and that they were actors and that it was a play.
I still get pretty invested in it, and that's, I think, why I don't like it. I view movies as real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really like watching movies a second time as much. When I watch something the second time, that's when I start appreciating it as art and writing.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I'm just totally engrossed in the story.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm so confused. I just Googled Are You Afraid of the Dark to try and figure out how old I was when I watched it, because that would be the answer to your question. That I loved watching scary stuff. When you're saying 8, I was definitely already trying to watch PG-13 movies at that point. But the first result, Ryan Gosling was in an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Whoa.
What?
I don't know. That's the first result. He's the star of Are You Afraid of the Dark on Google.
He's the star?
Well, because he's the... Wow, look at him. Wow, young little goose.
Well, because they were Canadian. The Midnight Society is Canadian.
Is Ryan Gosling Canadian?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's Canadian.
Pretty sure.
I don't know what it is. I don't remember.
It's amazing that some of the United States' best actors are Canadian and/or British, and that so few of them
Australian.
Very few big stars are just from America, from Wisconsin.
I feel like when you're that good and you're needing to go to Hollywood, you just have to be exceptionally good. What were you talking about before the statues? So the statues, I think for statue replacements, you should just use beloved children's animated characters for every
SpongeBob!
statue.
Oh, hey.
SpongeBob would be dope.
Yeah.
I would love one of Avatar Aang.
Oh.
I think that would be really awesome.
Oh my God.
Literally as large as the Statue of Liberty. Like in Korra.
Have you been rewatching Avatar?
Oh yeah, I rewatched all of Avatar and all of Korra.
I still have never seen Korra, and I'm very excited. It's like the sequel to Avatar, sort of.
Oh yeah. Set generations later. It's got a great queer storyline at the end. It is highly recommended. And everything is very Asian.
As an adult, I find that the older that I get, I want an Appa plush. I want more.
Oh my God.
More toys and
Yeah.
bullshit that I can put in my house. Much to my girlfriend's chagrin.
Appa's in the Totoro category of just big, fluffy, lovable characters.
Yes, absolutely. An Appa.
I want to dress up my dog like Appa.
I bet you could.
Pesto's got Appa energy.
Yeah.
Big Appa energy.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other guys watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, but
I
it was
have not.
trending on Netflix. It's still trending on Netflix.
Yeah, 'cause it's
they've noticed that animation overall had the highest uptick percentage-wise of views as a genre during the quarantine across all age groups. Because I think people needed the escape literally in the medium. The medium of animation is just like, I'm not looking at real people. This is excellent.
Right. Have you guys ever thought about doing an animated special episode of the Try Guys where it's
would be thrilled.
Yeah.
We have talked about it. We have thought. I mean, obviously, animation is timely and expensive, but we will make something animated before we hang this proverbial hat up. I wanted to ask, have you guys ever looked at the top 10 on Netflix? Because the stuff that is trending on there is very often hot garbage.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable and then it reminds me like, what I think is happening in culture. Like there are just so many different worlds and I don't know. I think I know. I don't know. There's a show right now.
That reminds me that 2.5 Men was the number one show.
Exactly. For years.
Forever.
Yeah. Big Bang Cast, the highest paid ever. There's a show on Netflix right now called 365 Days. I have not watched it. I watched the trailer because Maggie went, I heard that this show is basically porn. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, we're going to watch the trailer then for sure. and the plot of it is that it is preposterously fucked up. It is a drug kingpin who kidnaps a woman and gives her 1 year, 365 days to fall in love with him. That is demented.
Yikes.
That's
so fucked.
What
Sexual
happens
assault.
at the
That's
end of the
fucked
year?
up. I assume that it's a fucking 50 Shades love story that is normally, but it's like clearly trying to normalize
It's horrible.
kidnapping. How is that allowed?
Wait, sorry, it's a scripted show or it's a unscripted
Yeah, it's
show?
scripted. It's scripted.
Okay, all right. Well, if it's a scripted show, I don't really have a problem with it because, like, there's a whole bunch of fucked up shit that happens in scripted shows all the time.
I mean, it's hard because we selectively, I mean, that's objectively terrible, but subjectively, we all choose big flaming hot piles of garbage that we decide to watch. I mean, Keith and Becky always watched every 50 Shades of Grey for their Valentine's Day, like, tradition. And that is objectively, like, the most, like fucked up relationship ever put to cinema, to millions and millions of revenue. You watched Too Hot to Handle, Zach.
You was trending on Netflix. That's fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
And You is incredibly fucked up.
I do love You. I do love
You is
that
like
show.
you is so good and also so fucked up and bad that the lead star Penn Badgley has to constantly tell people not to like him as a character because he knows how impressionable youth are and that his character is objectively the worst type of guy you should be attracted to.
We've been watching The Last Kingdom. Talk about Dream World of Magic. There's a dream world in all the right ways.
I haven't seen that. What is that?
I don't even know what that is.
It's great. It's like Viking times. It's, a young man who gets separated from his family at birth, and he's half a Viking, half a Saxon, and he has to reclaim his kingdom. And it's hot guys, hot girls having a good time.
Ned will watch any hot
on
Viking show.
Level.
Name all the hot Viking shows you've watched.
Vikings. No, we've watched a lot. Norseman, the comedy version. I mean, there's basically name a period and I'll tell you a drama that I have watched around said period.
Ned likes ships, he likes swords, and he likes hot bods, preferably all together at once.
That's right.
But when we're talking about, there's also like just people who are obsessed with watching crime dramas and procedurals.
Yeah.
Like that's some dire, I mean, a lot of cop characters. Like we are like, that's like also in itself problematic, but that's also like people who watch that are not necessarily always bad people, So it's all very difficult. Like sometimes you'd separate entertainment in a way where you're like, I'm clearly feeling like I'm watching trash because I know it's exploitative trash. That's a very hard line to draw sometimes, especially with half of the shit even we say that we liked watching over the weekend. I mean, Tiger King,
I love trash,
that we all chatted about is objective. They're like horrible people. Like all of them, none of them should ever have a platform.
Yeah.
But I will defend, I think that is a brilliantly told documentary. I think that is an exceptionally made. You disagree, Miles? I think that is artfully directed. I think it's unbelievable.
I agree. There was some stuff where like the shots that they got, they were interviewing people who were so clearly like high on crystal meth. And I was like, I don't know if that's fine to do. Maybe we don't do that. But I did like the documentary. I thought it was cool.
I will agree with you that we should not sensationalize those people. And for whatever reason, we came out of that being like, Carol's terrible, but Joe, free him from prison. Like, no. He is a garbage human. They're all garbage people. But as far as from a filmmaking perspective, I think that is an exceptionally well-made piece of work.
So hopefully 365 Days is not an exceptional piece of filmmaking.
It's not.
Because it's number 1 on Netflix.
I mean, the more we talk about it, the more I'm curious.
Yeah. 13 Reasons Why Seasons 4 was number 3 in America for like 2 weeks.
Oh, and wasn't that... I mean, I even heard fans of the show didn't quite like where it went after the second season.
It's the craziest thing ever. It's like where it starts as like a show that glorifies suicide isn't even the cherry on top of the icing on the cake of why the show is wrong. It is a mess, but a very fun mess, but nobody should be allowed to watch it.
I'm sure there's a pretty tough line between getting something that's like compelling and something that like people have to watch.
Yeah.
That's also not like 100% problem free. You know what I mean? There's probably like some degree of like, that's why we want to watch that sort of stuff is because it's like a little bit not quite correct.
The solution is only watch animation.
Hey!
Watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Highly unproblematic.
Or The Last Kingdom. You guys haven't seen it, so you can take my word for it. It's surely not problematic in any way whatsoever.
The thing I'm trying to break my household from is this compulsion of, oh, there's a new show, we should watch it. And it's like, no. I'm not. There are 8 million old shows that we have not watched that we know for a fact are good. And instead, we get sucked into just whatever this autoplay video is that's on the top of my Netflix queue. I'm not falling for it anymore. I'm breaking the chain. I'm starting over. And I'm going to only watch things that I know are good because my time is precious, damn it.
But if you autoplay Try Guys, we salute you. We thank you.
That is good.
That's good. That's an active good in the world.
Hey, Ned.
Yeah.
Technology has improved just about everything, like phones, cars, shopping. But you know what hasn't improved as much as it should have? Mattresses.
Mattresses?
Yeah, they've more or less been the same since sleep was invented. But we deserve better. And finally, the mattress has evolved thanks to Purple.
The secret to Purple is the Purple Grid. It's a patented comfort technology that instantly adapts to your body's natural shape and sleep style. Purple is for everybody, no matter how you sleep. It's designed with over 2,800 open air channels and naturally temperature neutral gel, which is great because, in my household, Ariel likes to get the covers on, she snuggles up. And my body temperature, I always seem to run hot no matter how cold it is. And so a Purple mattress gets me that like temperature modulated sleep so you never sleep too hot or too cold.
The Purple mattress is soft where you want it, firm where you need it, and comfortably cool all over. It's truly a mattress that does it all.
Purple's so confident in what they do that every Purple mattress comes with free shipping and returns and a risk-free 100-night trial. So, experience the next evolution of sleep. Go to purple.com/TryPod and use promo code TryPod. For a limited time, you'll get $150 off any Purple mattress order of $1,500 or more.
That's purple.com/TryPod. Promo code TryPod for $150 off any mattress order of $1,500 or more. Terms apply.
If you love Miles, if you're part of the Miles Nation, you'll surely love the segment we got coming up next. It's Advice That'll Go for Miles with Miles Bonsignore.
It's advice that'll go for Miles. Tune into your radio station. It's advice that'll go for Miles. Everyone get ready. Miles Nation. Miles Nation, go! It's advice that'll go for Miles. Advice that'll go for Miles.
What's up, Miles Nation? How you stinky little cuties doing tonight?
Woo!
Have you ever wanted to have the gorgeous ass of a tuna?
I'm just...
Have you ever wanted the sexual stamina of a dolphin?
No.
Or the boobs of a Mediterranean shark?
What about dolphin tuna?
Mediterranean shark.
Relax your mind and comfort your body and get the sexy kissing lips of a fish by drinking iced water.
Oh my God.
No.
Anyway, thanks for listening,
Miles,
guys.
this is not the advice.
Ice
This is not the advice.
is a good.
Miles.
No.
Fucking out of here.
I have been drinking recently. I've been having a
Kids
treat.
drink ice water.
I've been having a treat before bed after I brush my teeth because you don't want to have juice because obviously your teeth will be freaking cavity filled. But you can have iced water, but don't tell the lemon because you're about to put a little lemon in your iced water.
Do people not commonly do this? Are people not drinking ice water?
Well, I kind of forgot about it for a little.
Oh, so you're just drinking room temperature water.
Yeah, I was drinking tap, but then I realized that we had ice, and I was like, oh yeah, I should do that.
You know
benefits?
what?
Yeah, the benefits are that it's refreshing, and it takes it starts out and it's ice water, and then you're like, oh man, I'm out of ice water, but then a couple minutes later, ice melts, and you're like, shit, score.
That is just
This one's
nasty ice down water. That's
real,
tepid.
real bad.
I actually double disagree with you, Miles, on both parts of this advice.
Oh shit.
One, I'm a room temp water boy. My perfect temperature is the way that it comes out of either the faucet or the fridge. I don't want the little ice clinking against my teeth. So that's strike number one. Strike number two, Miles, as the youngest and least experienced, you will grow into this. In a couple years, you're not really going to be able to drink water right before bed because then you're going to have to wake up really early before you want to wake up, and you're going to have to pee-pee your pants.
Spoiler alert, I'm already pissing in the toilet in my closet every night in the middle of the night.
It drives me insane. I feel like I need to stop drinking water at like 9 o'clock, which I don't, because I now regularly wake up in the middle of the night to go pee, and it is a sign of my encroaching mortality, and I don't care for it.
No, Zach, you might just have a small bladder. Some people have smaller bladders. Yeah.
I think I have a small everything. My body, my face, and my bladder. Maybe not everything.
Yeah, you got a big dick, though.
The legend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, buy the shirt. Buy the shirt.
Miles, they say that you burn more calories if you drink water that's colder than your body temperature. You could have said that.
You mean that I'm working out?
But that might have made it slightly more compelling than ice water,
Yeah.
It's cold and it tastes good.
I didn't know that I was also exercising while I was drinking it. So that's a double plus.
Miles, you're one of those freaks that chews up his ice cubes?
Hell yeah, brother. Clinky clink. Yeah. I'm sweaty as hell right now, though, and I stink compared to that question we had earlier.
Wow, well, Eugene would not be your friend.
I'll also say from the six-pack video, water and peeing is the main way that your body gets rid of fat.
Oh.
So if you want to have the ass of a tuna fish, drink lots of water, at least 8 cups a day.
Y'all just all gave the most contradictory advice from each person. Everyone said exactly different advice
that's good.
about
Do
water.
you want to stay alive? Drink
My advice
water.
is drinking water is good. I don't know if you can put ice in it, you can put not, but Zach's the thing about peeing, I don't know if there's that much you can do about peeing.
Yeah, that's why I wear a diaper to sleep.
Yeah, that's so.
Well, join us next week when we talk about pissing the bed and all the times that we've peed ourselves as adults. Don't forget to subscribe and buy the new merch and leave us a 5-star review. Write in your stuff. This has been an episode of the TryPod, and this is how we end episodes now. That's the end. Ned, hit us with the official TryPod theme song.
You gotta get those statues down, tear those statues down, and replace them with a statue of Miles and rub his lucky belly. The TryPod. Until next time, stay beautiful